So about the Christ is King people, do I suggest that you shouldn't troll and trigger the lunatics in a crowd, driving around with a big cross and paintball guns and getting them all hysterical because you know that they're not operating the way rationally and that they're at a capacity for lawlessness that they probably shouldn't be doing it. They're a bottom of the barrel type of spastics that you can trigger, and you'll make clicks and you can turn it into revenue, and that in itself trolls them. Do I suggest you shouldn't do that? Not really. Like you can go ahead and do that shit, but as far as for yourself, if you believe Christ is king, why would God want to be a king when a king is something God created, and a king is something that has majesty, and a God is something that has glory, right? There's no obstacles to witnessing the glory. There's no obstacle. There's no, it's like, so the other thing about the trolling and making revenue, and this is just a way, and you can exploit your advantage. Go ahead, go ahead and exploit your advantage. If it's something that you can do for economic, to be viable, and go ahead and do it. But you notice the difference. Like that's why you can't. And like I try to tell them like stuff like that. Like there's a difference. Like why would God want to be like any of those things? A high priest, a king, because a king can't have glory because they can't. I mean, the smart ones can recognize that they're supposed to be a servant. You know what I mean? Like if a king was going to have glory, there would have to be like a sacrifice and a perfect human, like that was like they did all kinds of things to degrade and make fun of, and they put the crown of thorns, and they're like he was a servant. Like he said, you shall have no part of me. If I can't be your servant, then you will have no part of me. And it was something he peeped that made him different from a king. So then after that, kings recognized that we're a servant of the public, and that that's a smarter king, right? A smarter version. But they can't have glory because like no human, no man, right? Who can only be witness, and we would think of glory in terms of like the spectacular bravery, and overcoming and being a champion. But there was a not capitulation. Was it a conflation or something where it was easy to see that your opposition were all baddies, right? They're all on the bad foot. They'll never be on the good foot until they get on the right foot. Since we don't have time to wait around for them. They're impeding our destiny. But there's no obstacle to witnessing glory though. And so there's like no payoff reward in a sense of like converting this, triggering these spastics into a revenue. So it's like that's cool just to know the difference. Like if I'm telling you that only God has the glory, then you can't tell me that Christ is king. But they wouldn't want to stop saying Christ is king until they exhaust that venue, which is a reasonable venue for them to take it. So you can't want to tell them something that's for you. It's like precious pearls and not to be cast before swine. Not to call them swine or anything, because you know what they're doing. That's just a figure of speech. I'm not calling anybody swines or anything. But some of them might attribute that since you look different or like one of them, that I could roll up on you and lecture you about Christ is King, and if you don't like it, then the sign of the cross compels you to turn away the opposite direction, and then we've exposed another demon. Yay. Like, it's not really what it do, because it would just be trying to be ignorant. Like, you would just be trying to be ignorant as if you weren't told. Like, you know, you were told that, but you already knew that, but you were being told that on top of that. And so you got to compartmentalize. It's like they innately know, but right now they are busy. Just like when you want to talk this, you know, this type of stuff, usually normies are busy, and they actually have jobs to do, and they have limited amount of time. So, but they actually have no time. It seems like they have limited time. Like, we'll want to resume this later, but think about those like news agencies when they finally are forced to talk about something that they didn't want to talk about. They say that this is an interesting topic and we would love to get back into it, and we'll invite the person back on the show that was revealing everything, but we're out of time. You know, we had 1 hour, and they had to 15 minutes of it had to be commercials, you know, and we would love to get into it. It was like there's nothing really stopping anybody from getting into it on their own. So you're obsolete. So they're obsolete. We don't really need you to be an authoritative voice on anything that I can find out. And I can also bear witness to God's glory even without there being a reward for overcoming an obstacle, because you're not an obstacle, because you understand already, and I didn't have to tell you this,